There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to talk about the good and bad aspects of movies and three movies that inspired us. Joining me in this conversation are my friends Piyush and Harsha.
Hey Pallav, glad to be back again.
Hi, Pallav. I'm really excited to be here today, and thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah, a recurrent um, appearance from you guys. So, to start off with, why are movies so important in our lives? What is the role they play, and what are the good aspects of it? Starting with you, Piyush.
Hmm. I'm actually really excited for this episode because it's such a fun episode to talk about.
Hmm.
It's movies, right? Everyone's watched movies,
Yeah.
be it a studious person or person who doesn't even like to watch things. They've definitely watched a movie sometime in their life. And there are so many movies of wide range genres and aspects. Like there's a movie for everyone.
Absolutely.
So why why would they make such a broad range of movies even though it's pretty clear like what people actually like what are the movies or what are the themes that resonate in people and become hit. Still people venture beyond that. They try something new. So that's what movies primarily show us, the creative talents of everyone involved in making a movie. There is skill required, there's a lot of imagination required, or if it's a real life story, how do you portray it? So the actor, the director, the visual effects, the audio effects, the lighting crew, they
Hmm.
there's a lot of elements that go into making a single movie, right? A single
Yeah.
scene or a single shot can take weeks to perfect.
Yeah.
So even though everyone talks about it like how it's a business, movies don't really matter, but movies play such a crucial role because through movies we can live the lives we
Hmm.
can never live in real life.
Hmm.
And movies give us so much experience and knowledge. Like I've never been to America, but I
You c- you
I'm
c- you can
really
you can
yeah,
see
I've
it
been
through the.
amazed by how New York looks and everything. We've seen many movies of the New York skyline or a wide aerial shot of Central Park.
Yeah,
It's
downtown
amazing.
Manhattan.
Exactly. So movies take us to places that we've never been or might never go, and they influence our lives in definitely some way or the other, even if it's not a lot. Movies definitely do have a strong influence in people's lives. I mean, there could be some good influences, there could be some bad influences, but that is depending on the person. Primarily, we are supposed to take the good influences and incorporate it into our life, right?
Hmm.
Like there are many movies that teach us life lessons. There are many movies that make us think beyond what our day-to-day activities are.
Hmm.
There are movies that even inspire us to do stuff that we would never have thought of.
Hmm.
So that is why movies are crucial. They need to be there. And I'm glad that we have movies in our lives.
Yeah, that's pretty well put. What are your thoughts, Harsha?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Piyush has to say. There's a lot of thought, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of rehearsals and practices that go into making a good movie. Irrespective of how the movie is, obviously, every movie with itself carries one or two lessons that we might have never thought of, or it portrays some sort of sense and some sort of meaning to what life can bring in the different aspects of life.
Hmm.
Movies in general are, like there's a slight thing where people just say movies are just for entertainment and just for time pass, but not every movie is made that way, right? There are a lot of movies, like for example, like biographies of people that portray all the difficulties and the struggles that people have to go through to in order to reach a certain level in life. So movies have good impacts as well as bad impacts, but again, it's all about perspective.
Yeah. All right. So when you talk about movies, the original name of movies is motion picture, and as a picture conveys so much meaning, motion picture is like a scene being played out. So I think that is what the real meaning of movies is. Um, the other thing is there's a wide array of different genres that you like you mentioned of movies, and all of them are inspiring in their own ways. Like you have movies based on true events, movies based on a real life, on a person's life. Then you have animation movies. Animation movies are all or also you also have great animation movies, right? You
Exactly.
name
Pixar and DreamWorks are doing brilliant work with their
exactly like
animation.
yeah. So their animation is as good as a real movie, and even like short movies are um they're they're for those who don't have like 2 hours to spend on the theater. So a very short 2 minute 3 minute movie, and that conveys a beautiful message. I think that's also pretty good.
Yeah, short
um
movies are usually just for conveying a short moral or a small message, right? Because they don't want to invest too much.
yeah. And then there are also like fiction movies, which all of us love a lot. So, like, you name any good franchise movie like Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, the DC universe. All of these are fiction movies, not real, but people love them a lot because these aren't usual characters. They take you to like another dimension to imagine, and I think um, that's a unique thing about movies that they portray certain scenes that you can only imagine and not like experience in real life. So yeah,
That's true, yeah.
so I think these are the good aspects of movies. So the next point of discussion would be, are there any bad effects of movies, if you think there are any, Piyush?
Yeah, so I do consider that there are a few bad aspects about movies. It might not be the movie as a bad thing, but from movies, a lot of controversies, a lot of fights, a lot of what do you say? Disputes. Yeah,
Disputes.
disputes, quarrels, they arise, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe the movie talks about religion, or maybe the movie talks about a prominent figure.
Hmm.
So a lot of controversies can be there, which lead to um, like very bad outcomes.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, we definitely need to just see that they are just movies. They are not real life
Yeah.
things. They are just for our entertainment, or for us to experience something. If you
Hmm.
don't like it, you just don't need to watch it. You
Hmm.
don't need to bother about it. It's not like someone made a movie just to criticize.
Mock you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fine. It's all fun and games. Like, um, the movie Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
so
mocking
it's
Hitler.
a it's mocking Hitler,
Hmm.
and Taika Waititi has been very open about it.
Hmm.
It's because it's just his thought,
Yeah. Like his way
right?
of creative thinking.
That's it.
Hmm.
He's just being creative. He's just trying to portray something. He's just trying to show us something different.
Hmm.
That's it. It's not is you don't need to take it very seriously.
Yeah.
So that's a major bad aspect about movies. I don't like the other aspects are there. Like some people might get influenced by some movies to do bad things. Like the movies are related to like drugs or something,
Hmm.
or the movies want to portray something, but people take it in a different way.
Hmm.
Like Kabir Singh
Hmm.
or Arjun Reddy, same-ish movies.
Hmm.
Like people only saw the violent or the drinking or the drug aspects of the movie or the crazy love.
Hmm.
But yeah, the movie obviously didn't have the intention of just portraying those, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, just how you take the movie and incorporate it into your life. That's it. Or else we should just take movies lightly. It's fine.
Hmm.
Definitely, there are good movies that make you cry, and that's fine. As long as it's a good thing, it's fine.
Hmm.
But when we venture into the bad territory, we should not care about it that much.
Yeah. Harsha, what would you like to say here?
Uh, yeah, yeah, like Piyush said, there's always got to be a balance in anything we do. So as long as there are good aspects to something, there will be bad aspects.
Hmm.
Um, According to me, there aren't really a lot of bad aspects in terms of movies. Uh, but the one thing that I would like to talk about is like there are like a set of people who are like crazy about movies. So they just forget about everything in their life and then they just go and watch movies over and over again and just in a sort of way ruin their life again. That's their decision to be taking, but life isn't always about watching movies, right? So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I dislike. Again, that's a personal choice that they have to make.
Hmm.
The other thing is, I'm not familiar with other movie industries, but especially in the Kannada movie industry, right? There
Hmm.
are these huge fan groups of all these actors.
Hmm.
The movie actors, movie stars. They have their own fan bases, and people are so passionate about them. And even if a slight controversy comes up in the media or in the news, these fan groups have, they fight each other, they make allegations, and
Yeah, there'll be riots too.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. There'll be a lot of disputes and unnecessary quarreling that'll happen because of this. So that's something that people need to consider, that movies are not really how life works. There are other aspects to life. Movies are just movies.
Yeah,
You
just like
take
watch
away the
2 hours and like forget it.
exact it's not forgetting it. It's more like, you
Ignore it.
take away the lessons that you learned from the movies and that's about it. Nothing else applies to your life.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
take the
can't be
good things
expected.
in, leave the bad things out.
Hmm.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean these are a few things that I don't really like about movies.
Hmm. Yeah, so according to me, the bad things in movies also happens to come from like the good thing of movies, like how movies are an instrument to inspire a larger audience, right? So I think that is like a double-edged sword, and that can also become a bad aspect of a movie. Like you don't want to be like encouraging people to do bad things in like if it's like a Nick Fury or like you said, Kabir Singh type of movie. Sorry, not Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, and also like movies which are opinionated. I think those kind of movies create a lot of outrage, and it's not like a typical generalized movie that you might want to see. Like to name a few movies here, like I would say. Um, the topic of religion has been portrayed in two movies called Oh My God and PK, right? So I mean those two movies depicted the version of what the director or what Rajkumar Hirani was thinking in the movie PK. But I think the audience also took a message that okay, you're mocking my gods and all other gods. So I think those kind of movies are avoidable. Are I mean, I wouldn't say avoidable. I mean, you can create them, but you need to be ready to accept.
Yeah, there is definitely a risk when he creates these type of movies because of
Yeah,
the different opinions people have. Like he's trying to uh, have a thought experiment.
yeah,
He's just trying to make us think something outside the box, but then
yeah. I
people don't take it in that way.
Yeah, so I remember these two movies were very sensitive to the audience. Oh My God and PK. And the other thing would be uh, the social or the cultural responsibility of the movie. Like and here I'm talking about this movie called Padmavati. So I think it was the outrage on that movie was something like the culture of Rajputs wasn't depicted properly or something. I don't remember accurately. So I think when you make a movie, I think it's important to consider all aspects of and if of the culture, if you're into if you're making a movie of that culture. So I think, yeah, so the outrage associated with making a risk type of movie, I think that needs to be like taken care of. And yeah, that's it. So moving on to the final part of the segment, we'll talk about three movies that inspired us each, and we'll go one by one. So starting with you, Piyush.
Okay, so where do I start? So I guess this has to be my favorite Hindi movie of all time. It
Hmm.
might not be the best, like according to critics or anything, but for me, this has played the most, like, it has a very personal attachment to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
It has influenced my life in the strongest way of out of
Hmm.
all the Hindi movies.
Hmm.
So this movie is Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, or short form ZNMD.
Yeah,
So
good choice.
yeah, thank you. I'm really excited. Like ZNMD is a movie about three friends and just one trip that changed their life completely. We like this movie set our goals for a, a friend trip, what we want to do. This movie explores themes of relationships and facing one's fears and
Tourism.
mending old wounds.
Hmm.
It's like in the movie, Ritik Roshan and Farhan Akhtar have like some old dispute, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Even though they're friends, they have some old disputes and how they overcome it on this one trip. This one trip, how uh, like all their lives took a turn for the better. They
Hmm.
learned to forgive, they learned to love, they learned to take time out of their busy lives to enjoy doing the small things or the big things, like all the skydiving and all a little too much, but the
Yeah,
same.
that was all like bucket list kind of scenarios.
Yeah, those are bucket list topics. So the the way this movie resonates with me is anytime I'm feeling down or I'm feeling lost, I watch this movie. It has such a soothing effect and an inspiring effect because
Hmm.
there's Ritik Roshan, always busy in his daily life. He has a plan, but he's got a lot of stress. He doesn't even want to go on the trip, but
Hmm.
somehow
Hmm.
he does go, and then he experiences life like for the first time in forever. He experiences life like
Hmm.
truly as it is. I really want to experience that once
Hmm.
because we are all caught up in our busy day-to-day lives right now, right? Because we are in a very
Hmm.
crucial time, as I
Hmm.
have said in many of the old podcast videos.
Yeah.
We're in the crucial time of our lives because this is primarily going to decide what we will be in the future.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, anything can change, but this phase of life plays the most important role.
Absolutely.
So, um, thinking about uh, like the future at this point is very crucial, and this movie has helped me do that. Like, I know that I'm not. There is more to life than just studying, getting good marks, and passing, and getting a job and earning money.
Hmm.
It's more about you being happy rather than just doing what society expects you to do all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Obviously, there are some things that you need to conform to society's rules, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. Just talking about your personal happiness. You need to be
Hmm.
content with whatever you're doing. And if you're not content with it, you should probably think of changing.
Hmm.
Like, there's that scene where Hrithik Roshan goes underwater
Hmm.
and everything is blue. He's in this quiet and peaceful place, He's swimming among the fishes.
Hmm.
The background music is very uh, like atmospheric, ambient.
Yeah.
Everyone should definitely watch this movie once, and that one scene should be paid close attention to because it changes you. That one
Hmm.
scene, and I have many personal memories also with that scene. I have cried during that scene. I have felt extreme happiness during that scene.
Hmm.
A lot has happened.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Are you more of a Kabir, Imran, or an Arjun?
I think I would look at myself more of Kabir
Hmm. All right.
because Kabir is a very simple guy. He's a normal guy. Imran and Arjun are a little more of like Imran's artistic or little broad thinking, a little carefree guy,
Hmm.
and Arjun's too by the book,
Hmm. Hmm.
strict.
Hmm.
It has to be this way. He's got a plan for everything.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Kabir's more like he's a normal guy, just going with the flow. Sometimes he gets lost. Sometimes he does not know what to do, but he stays true to himself
Hmm. Hmm.
in
Hmm.
the end of the movie. So I guess I would resonate with Kabir the most. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, we see bits of ourselves in all the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like,
So
I mean, you want to be as playful as Imran, be as
exactly,
normal as Kabir, and be as like career oriented as Arjun.
exactly. You gotta have the right mixture of everything,
Hmm.
and the songs are amazing. I don't know one song that is bad in ZNMD.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the poems in that. That was really good poetry
Exactly, even
by
Farhan Akhtar's
Javed Akhtar and
poems, yeah,
Farhan Akhtar. Yeah.
it's a brilliant movie. I highly recommend this movie to whoever's
Hmm.
listening.
Yeah.
Please watch.
Yeah. So now let's move on to the next movie. Harsha, what what would be your favorite movie?
Yeah, I mean, that was really great by Piyush. I really like. I mean, I watched Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara very recently, though, after the recommendation of Piyush, and all the things that he said resonates with me as well. So yeah, I mean, now to talk about one of my favorite movies is Three Idiots. I'm sure everyone of our audiences have watched or heard about it.
Yeah.
The reason why I like this movie a lot is because I think it portrays life as an engineering student the best in out of all the movies that I can think of or I've watched. Obviously, joining an engineering college, a lot of people not really like it. It's more like, like you ask your father after completing your 12th, what do I do in life? If you have no plan, the straight up answer is engineering. So, whether we like it or not, some people are forced to take engineering, and that's how life goes by. And engineering life is, I think, the one of the best years that you could live. Me being an engineering student in his final year, I'd say I've enjoyed life. I've had a lot of good times. I've got a lot of good memories, great friends, great partners. In crime, it's really fun. And obviously, these are the years in your life where you're figuring yourself out. So
Hmm.
there's always gonna be ups and downs in life. Sort of things like that. I think the best part about these few years is how much we learn. It's crazy. It's something that we could not have imagined before stepping into an engineering college or perhaps any college in that matter. It's crazy whether it could be from pulling off the whole semester syllabus in one night or to doing all sorts of jugards to submit assignments, complete assignments,
Yeah.
get work done before the deadline, just before the
Exactly. During this
deadline.
phase, you learn more about life lessons rather than what you're actually studying in college.
Exactly, exactly. College life is where you get over the phase of being book smart and start being street smart. I think that's the best way to put college life into simple words. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
about the movie is again like there are a lot of lessons to be learned. I'd start
Yeah.
off with the first lesson that that I personally uh, follow or I've learned from the movie is to be selfless. Yeah, the main character in the movie, Amir Khan, shows us that it doesn't really matter in life if you're being recognized for your work, but it's always important to be selfless. That's something that honestly to me at the time when I watched the movie was not something that I thought about in life. I always used to think about how I would be happy, how my family would be happy, but it shows us that it's not always important to think about yourself, but to also be selfless. And yeah, selfless acts are always something that are rewarding, and not in a way where you get something or not, but in a way where you're personally satisfied with yourself. So that's something
Mm.
that's really great. And it also shows us that you don't really need an identity to gain knowledge. Irrespective of who you are, knowledge is out there for all of us
Yeah.
to, you know,
Uniform change, school change.
exactly. But knowledge is something that's always going to be constant and it's out there. Anybody can get hold of it, especially now with the internet and everything.
Mm.
Then the second thing is obviously the best way an engineering life is being portrayed is what I want to talk about here. Obviously, when you join an engineering college, you are under a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations are built upon you by your parents, your family, your friends, everyone. So there's this quote that I want to say from the movie where the principal says that life is a race. If you don't run fast, you will be a broken under, right?
Yeah.
this
Yeah, that's
this
awesome.
yeah, it's a great quote, but at the same time, there's a darker side to it as well because once you enter an engineering college, there is a pressure on your shoulder that says that okay, you are marching towards adulthood. You've got to step up and take responsibilities and all that. Again, for people who are not really passionate about engineering of what they're doing, right? Everything is bad. Everything is sort of a pressure for them. So a lot of people get under this, they fall victim to this pressure, and some people have lost their lives as well. That's quite unfortunate. But again, all these are just learning opportunities and where life tests you to be strong. It wants you to be strong. So it puts you under all these circumstances. But again, we have to stand up.
Mm.
And the last thing that is so captivating about the movie is friendships, right? Let's talk about that because
Yeah.
some of the friendships that we make in college or while we're studying last a lifetime. Like it's the best thing ever. It's so um, like it's not at all
It's
uh,
unmatched. Nothing comes
exactly
close.
like there are not really words that can describe friendships in that way, but yeah, it's great. It's a great takeaway from college, whether you learn something or not, but you do take away amazing friendships that last a lifetime.
Mm.
So yeah, that's
Um,
pretty much about it.
yeah. Right. That was well said, Harsha. Also, the campus that they showed in Three Idiots, I think that was beautifully. It was obviously the IMB campus, and I think they showed it pretty well in the movie. So to talk about my three movies, so I'll start off with um, The Pursuit of Happiness. I think that movie was inspiring. It it showed us the life of Chris Gardner, who is selling like medical equipment not which is not fancy, but then he wants to become like a broker in a big firm. So I think the struggle of his life that they showed in the movie was it was very well shown. They also brought out good topics of like unemployment and other things like that. And also, I really like this quote in that movie where Will Smith's character, he tells his son, um, "Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do, not
Yeah.
even me." So I think that was a pretty good quote, and that shows that there's literally no one who can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. and it's everyone that's speaking are all just critics, and it's really you who needs to believe in yourself to get what you want, uh, get what you want. And yeah, a very short, inspiring message that I learned from this movie. So
It's a
Piyush,
good movie.
yeah, so yeah, Piyush, what would be your second movie?
So my second movie is also, I'm gonna be just straight and direct with it. This this movie does not have like amazing over the top reviews or anything. Even the animation is not like um, the best animation you're ever gonna see. But this movie has primarily taught me one thing. So what I'm talking about is Kung Fu Panda, the first one.
Hmm.
Or you can take the series as general, but I'm talking about the first movie. The story is very simple. The story is very short. It's very direct. There's not much depth to the primary story. But rewatching, I think that's the movie I've rewatched most after ZMD. After rewatching so many times, you and at different phases of life, like when it came out, I was a younger person. I was uh, still a kid. So back then, I didn't understand the deeper meanings. But when I watched it like more recently, when I was a little more mature, I understood some deep aspects or themes in the movie. So one thing that resonated a lot with me is um, the role of a teacher. I've told this in the passion episode also that
Hmm.
I would really like to be a teacher. It's
Hmm.
primarily because my favorite character from Kung Fu Panda is Master Shifu,
Hmm.
because of the way he he had given up on Po immediately when he saw him. He's like, this is never gonna happen. He totally
Hmm.
underestimated Po. But then without Master Shifu, definitely Po's determination is there, but without Master Shifu adapting to the students' like personality,
Hmm.
Po could have never become as great as he is.
Hmm.
Master Shifu saw to his weaknesses and strengths and used those to train him. It was like this is the real role of a teacher, the role a teacher plays. The teacher is not teaching you primarily the main content, the teacher is helping you figure out what you are.
Whoa, that's yeah, that's really great.
Like Shifu didn't teach him how to be the dragon warrior. Shifu just lured him with food to train and gave him life experiences. That is it. Po had to figure out what he wants to do with that by himself. Shifu is just a mediator. So that's
Hmm.
what I take away from Kung Fu Panda is the importance of a teacher, the role of a teacher in a student's life. Teacher's not gonna primarily uh, tell you what you need to do, rather guide you through the process of you figuring out what you need to
Hmm.
do.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we cannot forget Master Uguay.
Hmm.
He was a crazy wise turtle
Yeah,
or tortoise. I'm not sure.
yeah. He's become a meme now, right? In that "My time has come" meme.
Exactly. And Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer has a beautiful score in Kung Fu Panda named Uguay Ascends. If you're not gonna watch the movie, at least listen to the music. It might make you want to watch the movie.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the name of Hans Zimmer was enough to like watch the movie.
exactly. It's a beautiful movie. Everyone should definitely watch it because it's a very fun movie to get through. A lot of life lessons, a lot of good uh, time jokes, and Jack Black has amazing performance as Paul.
Hmm. Yeah. So moving on, what would be your second movie, Harsha?
The other movie that I would like to talk about is Interstellar. It's not a movie that I learned a lot from, but a movie that I'm quite fascinated by. It's a movie where there's a lot more science than fiction in it, although it's a science fiction movie. It's quite fascinating how everything in that movie is put together. I mean, for example, the image portrayed in the movie of the black hole is quite similar to the image obtained by NASA in the recent past. at that time to reproduce such an accurate representation of the black hole was incredible. And also the most fascinating thing about the movie to me was the whole creativity behind the movie. It's brilliant. For example, the way they portrayed the bookshelf scene in the movie, that's crazy good. I mean, I
Mm,
could have never thought of anything like that happening in a movie.
Exactly. They are
yeah.
widening our thought to look at time or gravity as different physical dimensions that are controllable
Right.
and integratable, like how we have electricity and magnetism integrated.
Right. It's crazy. And then they showed us a possibility of a fourth dimension. I think that's very, very fascinating and very interesting. Yeah, and there are a lot of things in the movie that are so scientifically right. They're just mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, even us, like, this is missed by many people, but they even do talk about climate change a lot. The
Yeah,
premise of the movie is due to climate change, they want to abandon Earth. So many people don't take that away from it. They need to understand that too.
yeah,
And let's
and also Hans Zimmer, man.
Oh yeah, Hans. Oh, the Interstellar score.
That stay.
I was in the theater for that. It was one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that was my like first movie which I watched in IMAX, but and it was totally worth the money.
Definitely.
and let's not ignore the whole screenplay, the whole graphics design team that put so many hours into the movie and made it an
Exactly.
amazing
Mm,
movie. It's a must watch for everyone. It is mind blowing. It rewires your thoughts on certain things. It's
mm.
brilliant.
Yeah, and like it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so I don't think there's any other reason that you would need also.
Right.
Right. Okay, fine. So to talk about my next movie, I would go with a Bollywood movie, and this movie is called as Dear Zindagi. Um, s- the reason why I like this movie is because it it is about the protagonist is Alia Bhatt. She is playing this character called Kyra, and this character does a lot of overthinking, and that is why that overthinking reflects into her friendship and her career and all of that. So, and that was this was like one of those movies which also talked about mental health, and the doctor of mental health in this movie is obviously Shah Rukh Khan. So great acting in this movie. And also I really like the small anecdotes that they told in this movie, like one of those anecdotes on like climbing a mountain that is difficult, and when you're not prepared. I think that was a really good anecdote, and it was like a figurative um, anecdote. Like by climbing a mountain, you obviously mean achieving your goals, but
Yeah,
achieving your goals without being prepared is something that will only lead to a disaster. So I think that was pretty good. And then the third aspect which I really liked about the movie, it's the songs. It's the songs are performed by Amit Trivedi, so which who is like an Indian legend. So these three, that's why this movie is in the top of my favorite Bollywood movies. Mm,
absolutely. And I really liked Shah Rukh Khan's down to earth performance. He wasn't like overboard with his acting in this movie.
yeah, like unlike his usual the king kind of presence on the
Yeah,
screen.
exactly. He doesn't dominate over Alia.
Yeah, it was more of an Alia movie and not an Shah Rukh Khan movie.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So what would be your final movie, Piyush?
So this third movie was a difficult choice. I had a lot of options, but in the end, I went through with the Star Wars franchise. Like personally, Episode 3 is my favorite, but Star Wars franchise as a whole has had a cultural impact on me. Like uh, the memes, the um, the stories that depict good versus evil, the light versus dark. Like day to day life, also we have those problems, right? We're always sometimes stuck in a dilemma. Like let's take a basic thing: you're waiting in line for something, someone cuts in front of you. How do you respond to that? Do you just get angry and start shouting, or do you have patience? You just ignore it, or do you explain it to him in a good way?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what even Star Wars the characters go through, right? There's a constant struggle between the light versus dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I only understood that obviously when I was again more mature. I watched Star Wars because Star Wars are old films. I watched it when I was a kid. Back then I was just fascinated by how cool everything looks, how cool all the characters are,
Mm-hmm.
nice suits, the lightsaber, amazing.
Yeah.
Such such an impractical weapon because you can there's such a high chance that you can kill yourself with it,
Mm-hmm.
but the way they portrayed it, like it's an elegant weapon for Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was definitely excited by the lightsaber. I've held those plastic lightsabers. um my favorite character from the whole Star Wars universe will be Obi-Wan Kenobi forever and always.
And the reason for that being,
Obi-Wan Kenobi has gone through so much and still stayed true to himself. He's
mm,
lost so much. He's been the best friend anyone could ever have.
yeah,
He stayed true to what he wants to represent to the light side.
yeah, but
Like
and
even
I,
Yoda sometimes is a little crazy, or
mm,
his wisdom, like it doesn't make sense.
mm,
But Obi-Wan's like he's a super chill guy.
yeah, but to say one thing against Obi-Wan Kenobi is that I really think he missed all the high ground lessons that he learned from his high school. He needs to learn from them.
No, not Obi-Wan. Anakin needs to learn.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
And
Um,
yeah, Star Wars music by John Williams. Oh my god, what a legend!
yeah, I mean, all the most Star Wars songs are very iconic, and
Exactly.
one of them is my wake up alarm. So,
Which
yeah,
one?
I don't remember it. I think it's the Imperial March.
Nice. Powerful wake up alarm.
Yeah, I mean, you feel waking up good, right?
Yeah. I love Duel of Fates
Yeah, that
and
was.
Binary Sunset. The Force theme. Awesome.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, that's how Star Wars has played a role. It's primarily a cultural thing rather than and like we sometimes just talk in Star Wars memes.
Yeah.
That's a fun aspect about that.
Yeah, correct. So Harsha, what would be your final movie?
Okay, now I'm going to talk about my favorite movie in the recent past, and it's Black Panther. Black Panther is my favorite movie for a lot of reasons. First of all, I think, although I can't relate to this, but it talks about representing a whole community, that's usually not given the sort of recognition or the sort of respect that they deserve. I think that's something that's really, really great about the movie, and it was very well appreciated and accepted all over the world.
Hmm.
And the success speaks for itself. The other part that I really love of the movie is how T'Challa takes the responsibility after his father's death. That's something that's great. He was honestly a great king to Wakanda, and he basically shows that there is always decisions in life that you need to take for the greater good.
Hmm.
You need everyone in your life. You need to have good relations with everybody, because everyone in one way or the other at one point of your life or the other play an important role in certain things that take place in your life. It's brilliant how he takes the whole responsibility of taking care of a whole kingdom by himself, making decisions that affect the future of the whole nation and all those sort of things. And the main lesson that I take away from Black Panther is from a quote that I really, really love. And the quote is in times of crisis, the wise build bridges while the foolish build barriers.
Nice.
There's very deep meaning to this quote, and this quote is only for the few people who understand it.
Hmm.
It's got great meaning to it. It's something that we all have to follow in our lives. you know
Hmm.
According to me, that's brilliant. I just love the movie just for that one quote, because that one quote is gonna change your whole perspective about how we view at things, how important certain things in our life are. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like Black Panther was one of those films which was nominated for a Best Picture at the Oscars. So I think yeah, that really says a lot.
I
So
just wish Chadwick Boseman was still alive.
yeah, man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it would have been amazing to see him again.
Yeah. So moving on to my final movie, my favorite movie is this movie called Wake Up Sid, starring Ranbir Kapoor. And the reason I like this movie is because Ranbir Kapoor's character is so relatable. So he is this lost guy in the final year of his college, and he still doesn't know what he wants to do after college. And like the movie literally starts with uh, him saying, uh, like, okay, it doesn't start off like that, but when he meets Konkana, Konkana's character, and then she asks him, "What do you do?" And then Ranbir Kapoor says, "मैं अपने पापा के पैसे उड़ाता हूँ." And then Konkana asks him again, uh, "College के बाद का क्या plan है?" And then he again says, "मैं फिर भी पापा के पैसे उड़ाऊंगा." So I think that really shows like how lost he is, and that I'm sure that's all of us when we were young, that we thought that uh, we're just gonna spend our dad's money for the rest of our lives. But then when you learn things like making your own bread and things like that, so this movie shows how Ranbir Kapoor learned that journey. Also, like on the movie also has Konkana Sen Sharma. So and she is this character who is experiment who is literally a new girl in the city, and then she is all sorted about what she wants to do, and she has a passion, she has a goal, unlike Ranbir Kapoor's character who is the opposite. And it's the movie is basically telling us a story of how these two learn from each other. Also, the songs were really really good, and so each and every song has its own journey. The Wake Up Sid title song is literally about wake up, Sid, think about life, and stop like just procrastinating what you want to do. Then Kya Karu was about Ranbir Singh, Ranbir Kapoor enjoying his college journey through his friends. And then Aajkal Zindagi was a really good song. The song was based on him, how he felt during his first internship, and the happiness that he felt inside was portrayed through this song. Life is Crazy is this song based on when Konkana Sen Sharma moves to like a new like when she gets her own house. So I think that is a very crucial phase that we all want to experience once. So Life is Crazy is about explores that moment, and then Iktara is just like a soothing song of like happiness and like joy and other things like that. So I think, and yeah, this the whole the songs in this movie are by Shankar Ehsaan Loy and Amit Trivedi. So it couldn't get better than that. So yeah, so to summarize, I would say this movie captures all the important aspects that we go through in life. It's about like realizing your goals, moving to a new city, getting your first internship, and like figuring out what you really want to do. And Yeah,
A wake up
so
set is very close to the Running in Circles podcast.
yeah, I mean, not quite, but I mean, we just talk about what all we went through, and that's why this movie is like so relatable, and
Yeah, we share our life experiences and we are improving. We are striving to improve every time we talk about it.
yeah. So maybe we can call this like podcast "Wake Up Pallav" or something.
Let's see. Let's see what the
Yeah,
future holds.
yeah. So all right then, I'm sure my audience would have watched at least one of these movies that we talk about, and I'm sure you can relate to these movies. And this was, without a doubt, one of the most fun episodes to be a part of. What do you?
Definitely. I just want to say one thing.
Mm,
I'll just take the most famous quote from Star Wars.
mm,
May the force be with you all.
yeah. So yeah, this was the most fun episode I've done, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.